And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Entrepreneur Talks podcast, prioritizing freedom and creativity with Claire Whittaker. Welcome, Claire. I'm so glad to have you here with me today.
Thank you so much, Riola. I'm so happy to be here and thank you for having me.
Oh, amazing! And we are at the same country, right? So,
Yes.
where about are you?
I'm based in London, in South London.
Oh, fantastic. So we are both in London. This is amazing. It's very rare that I find guests in London because
Really?
yeah, it is always from the other side of the world, every country, but or even UK, but not London.
Ah,
So
I
wow,
feel very special.
I think you are the first talking that is in London, basically. A lot of different places in UK, but London is quite hard to find my guests. That just didn't happen yet. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
um I want to say sorry for the barking. Yeah, but this is what is happening. Life is real, so we need to accept and continue. So we are here today to make sure we get to know Claire Whittaker and her journey, her story, and to empower people through our conversation. So, Claire, to start, I would like to ask you to describe yourself in 3 words.
Ooh, I would say I was a pretty positive person in general. Positive. I'm a total nerdy person, and clumsy. Like I'm very, very clumsy. I'm always breaking things.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
So
there you go.
you pass through something and poof.
Yeah, all the time, covered in bruises, all the time.
Oh my gosh. One thing I realized when you said, I said, describe me yourself in 3 words, and you said, I was. You are not
Mm.
anymore. The first one, the first word that you mentioned, you said, I was.
Oh, that must have been a slip of the tongue. I would say I was still very positive
Oh,
in general. Overall, like positive person.
it's positive. I'm like, interesting. So what is now what she does? Who is she now? Is not positive because this is a good. The words have power, so we need to remember these kind of things, right? And I
Mm,
just realized I heard that. I'm like, no, she is positive. Is that correct?
I am. I am very.
But clumsy, like everything. Oh, that's quite can be dangerous, but can be funny as well. And somehow,
Indeed.
are you? Can you see me? Yeah, can you? Because I think I'm
I think
losing
the
your.
feed is a little bad. Can you hear me at all? I think
Uh,
the feed has gone a bit bad, but I can still hear you.
I can hear you as well. So,
Fine.
so even if you freeze there, oop, move, no move, but I could hear you. I keep hearing you. So tell me, what do you do, Claire?
Yeah, so I am a systems and automation consultant, and I work with businesses who are looking at how they can scale up and grow by implementing more effective processes and workflows. And I work with them to help them implement those things. So it's a lot of like project management stuff and getting set up with all the tech. So I have this bit of a weird background in operations and tech. And so I try and combine those two to help other companies make the most of that while they try and scale.
Oh wow, that must be huge. Like when it comes to what you just explained, the systems and tech and this and that. So it makes a huge plan, right? How long does takes to implement and then work on?
Yeah, I think it really depends on your business. And this is something as over the last couple of years, as I've been growing out my consulting and worked with lots of different kinds of companies, this is something that I've really realized. Originally, I was like, oh yeah, I can just like, we'll work together for a month, we'll go really deep, we'll get everything set up, and
One
that's great. But as I've kind of like worked with more different kinds of companies, I've realized that you can get something set up, but really to make your processes and your systems work really well, you want to be constantly evaluating them and looking at them and really thinking about ways that you can improve them so that they always work well.
And it's very interesting, but I'm trying to, when it comes like, you created your artificially intelligent consulting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Company, and you work with companies to increase the revenue. In what terms? And give me just an example, what exactly how that works.
Yeah. So what I really do is help companies increase their productivity. And so there's a number of ways that they can do that. But for example, one that a lot of the guys listening, I imagine, will be able to relate to is if you're thinking about your leads and sales and how you bring in more leads and sales to your business,
Right.
by setting up a proper CRM system or a proper way of managing those leads that you can start to automate, that allows you to reach more people, get in touch with more companies, really be able to work through those leads in an effective way so that you're not letting anyone fall through the cracks without it having to take up so much more time because you can automate it. And so that increase of productivity will help you to ultimately grow your revenue and your sales.
Right. Can you just explain in a baby word CRM?
Client relationship management. So basically, it's like if you have like an email list, like you can use that to kind of manage your leads, or you can have people in a spreadsheet or a proper tool to do it. But that's what it is. So basically, how you stay in touch with your clients and how you stay in touch with potential leads and prospects for your business.
Right. I did know what is CRM.
But for the people listening.
That's right. Just to clarify, but it is important. This is when it comes to the email list or be in touch with the clients through the email example. Do you believe is one of the essential tools that every company should have, right?
I increasingly think yes, right? Because if you don't have that, you're basically either you're missing out on opportunity because you don't have the contacts or the people's information, or you're really relying on other people's platforms to fund your business. So for example, if you were just marketing on Instagram or you were just marketing on LinkedIn, for example, then if you're not collecting those emails, if something changes, if your account gets blocked, and this is something I know that's happened to friends of mine who have businesses, their account has been blocked or removed, and they've lost all of that potential customer information. And so by having an email, they own that, so you can start to really manage that.
That's so true. Yeah, it's very important. I agree with you. I start to think that is one of the best and the most important tools in a company, because just what you said related with be confident that you got all them on a platform as a social media, but you don't have another place. And if suddenly something happens and you disappear from the planet there, you are done. You lose everyone. And that's the key. This is me thinking, and I believe, like from what you said, that it is essential. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. And who is your niche?
So I work a lot with startups. So I work with like tech startups because I have a background in tech, but I also work with a lot of marketing agencies. So I kind of have two niches. I know that makes me terrible. You're meant to have one, but I work with a lot of marketing agency owners and then tech startups who are just looking at how they can really move into the scale up phase.
Right. And for you to grow your business,
to
expand your business, you did use the email marketing.
Absolutely. It's actually one of the best ways currently that I'm bringing people onto my consulting agency right now is through my email list.
That's really good. Because it takes, if someone, this is what I'm going to say here now is like to encourage people to find more about what is this CRM and your company work, what you do. And I think is this very, looks like it's very complicated when it comes to the email, and can be if we don't know anything about it, right? If we don't know how to create this email and send to clients, because there's a lot of people, in my own experience, that runs emails for the sake of running and sending a lot of spam stuff that it doesn't make any sense for me to receive. So there is another, apart from just sending the emails, has to be call to, I don't know, call to action, something that increase my awareness, like I wanna see what she's doing. I wanna, because some people send a lot of stuff and I just put them on spam, because, or they just go on spam alone, but increase the lack of attention for myself, from my side. But there is people that I wish to receive email and they never send me.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because, like you say, it can be quite it can feel, I don't think it necessarily is, but it can feel quite complicated to set up. And then you have to always be thinking about, oh, what am I going to communicate with people? What am I going to send to them? How can I make this really good? And I guess one of the things that I would say is, and I would say this about all automation and systems and processes actually, is to really keep it simple in the beginning. Like, you can always start to do fancy things and send different emails to different people and make it really big and make it really like complicated as you grow. But definitely keep it simple in the beginning. And I think the emails that I find most interesting to read are ones where I'm learning something. So like maybe like I'm learning about, so for example, I subscribe to an email list that's all about Facebook ads. So I'm not an expert in that, but I'm interested in learning more about it. So I'll always open those emails because I know that there's going to be something interesting in there for me. And I think that's a really good way of thinking about it. And all of the different things that your business does, what are some of the things that someone might be interested in if they were going to become ultimately a customer of yours?
Interesting. Thank you for sharing. That's really good. Thank you. And now, Claire, why did you start your business? What happened?
Yeah. So it's a bit of a long story again. So I've been working in corporate for like 6 or 7 years at like big companies. And I one of the things that was really interesting to me, so I worked at Amazon for many years. And when I started at Amazon, it was like completely different to how it is now in the UK, at least. Like, so I could change anything on the website by just uploading a spreadsheet. And it would just all change. And I definitely made some mistakes doing that. I won't go into here, but they happened. And I'd seen it grow, and I'd had the opportunity to kind of explore lots of different areas. But as I was kind of growing there, I got really interested in like how startups work and like the concept of entrepreneurship. And I'd never really seen myself as an entrepreneur. I never thought I was going to have my own business. But all of a sudden, I just was like, oh, this is quite interesting. I'm going to explore this. So I started a blog, and I started like getting interested in social media and like SEO and all sorts of kind of like other things. And while I was building that out, one thing I realized was my specific skill set around processes and systems and how to like maximize your productivity and get a lot done in a short amount of time was something that not a lot of other entrepreneurs were A, talking about, or B, had. So like, I met a lot of incredibly talented people who were just working like till midnight, till 2 a.m. every night, trying to get something off the ground. And I knew if they had just like a couple of like different tweaks in their processes, they'd be able to be way more efficient and way more productive. So that's what kind of really inspired me to want to start the business, is to help these people get more from their day, and actually be able to like take time off, because I think it's really important to be able to take time off.
It is definitely. But you know, as a startup, people tend to be no time to stop. It's just go.
Yeah.
I remember back in the days when I started, was the same, and because we depends as well in what terms do you start your business. If you have funds to invest,
Mm.
pay someone, or if you don't have funds, and then you need to learn. So there is different roads to take when it comes to start a business. And why I'm just looking to my notes, I'm grabbing the questions I have on the side. I don't want to miss that because I like them. So I want to make sure I ask you. And why are systems and automation, I think we already answered in somehow, in some way, so important for entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I think it's really important to kind of set up processes in your business just to make things more manageable. Like, as you're kind of working on the business and starting to grow and starting to get traction, you really want to make sure that you're able to keep on top of all of the different parts.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, like, systems is really important. So for example, if you're working with clients, you want to have a process or a system in place that you onboard those clients. So you know that you're getting everything you need from the clients, you know the client is getting a really good experience, and that in turn can help you grow. Now, the piece around automation. So a lot of these kind of processes that we would be talking about, like client onboarding, for example, can be automated. So there's no reason why you should be manually doing all of those things yourself, because when you let the automation take over, that frees you up and gives you so much more time to do other things that only you can do in the business, and like really go the extra mile and be creative, to the topic of today's conversation, right? You want to be able to free up time so you can be more creative and deliver that extra value.
Yes, and that I believe can start just from the scheduling system. If you have a scheduling system in place, you can automatically, the client can come and can book and get it back and just go into an email, and then the email will do the work. And that makes creativity and freedom to do things, other things that you are supposed to be doing. Am I correct?
Exactly. You'd be surprised how much time just having a scheduler will save you. You're not having to go like, oh, I'm free here. When are you free? By the way, we booked this. Do you remember when it is? And all of that kind of stuff. So even those like small tweaks, those smaller automations can really save you just loads and loads of time when you're working with clients.
I love that. I love, and we apply these kinds of things into our company, and it really gives me opportunity to prioritize things and be more creative on the other things that actually I'm doing, or I can do best. Instead of checking my calendar, oh well, oh, I'm not free this day. It used to be so tiring, and implementing a system helps, really, really, really helps.
Yeah.
But thank you once again. And now let's go for my other question, which is, what are some mistakes you see people making when it comes to setting up systems in their businesses?
Yeah. So this is one that I know that I am definitely guilty of. And I see all the time, so I know that this is a mistake people make. And that's just you going really complicated at the beginning. So you're like, okay, this is my vision. I want to have like all of this run like this, and then I want to have all of these things that happen as soon as someone like signs a contract, and then this, and you end up setting up a process with like 1,000 different steps that uses like 100 different tools, and you try and use like the different tools for every like piece of the process. It just gets really, really complicated. And then no one ever uses it because it's too complicated and it doesn't really work in a practical manner. So that's definitely the biggest mistake. Even when setting up like project management systems, all these different things like ClickUp, Asana, Monday.com, they all have all these incredible features, and people try and use all of them from the beginning at the same time without really working out how like a basic way of using the tool so that it can really help them. So this is something I always encourage people to do now, and myself to do. I always challenge myself, like when I'm setting something up, I'm like, can I make this simpler? Do I really need to have all of these different things? Does this all really need to exist within the setup? And just to really, really focus on keeping it simple.
Right, that's very interesting. And then keep changing or arranging if depending on the need, right? Because sometimes systems they give us the opportunity to have that tool there, but I don't need now, but I can get after.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's very important and interesting that you answer. I made this question and you answer. Thank you so much. This is really good. So thank you. I'm just thinking here. So how long you have your company? You open it?
Yeah. So in its current form, we've been open for about 1.5 years now.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's been really interesting. I've learned so much, and I feel like so grateful to have worked with the clients that I've worked with and be able to really evolve and understand exactly how we can add value to other companies and how we can help people navigate the process of setting up processes and automating. And it's been really fun, but I've learned so much just like from like going out there, and it's really forced me to embrace my creativity and think about problem solving on a whole new level and how to really work with people and come up with new solutions.
Yeah, that's so true. So in that case, and adding to this, what just you said, how can people connect with you? Where can
Yeah.
they find you?
Yeah, so the best places to find me are on LinkedIn, and then I have my website, artificiallyintelligentconsulting.com, and then also an Instagram as well, which I believe you have the link for. Yes, you're nodding, so I'm assuming that's right. And that's where I hang out most of the time. And so that will be the
Okay.
best place to catch me.
Awesome. Yes, I do. You are right. I do have the LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook website under this conversation just now. If you go to the description, it will be there. And also, I have a freebie that Claire is giving today. Could you
Yeah.
explain more?
So the freebie is basically to help you get started on thinking about what are some of the kinds of systems that you might want to have in your business and what you can systemize as you're starting to grow and scale. So it is an SOP guide. For those of you who don't know, SOP is Standard Operating Procedure, and it's basically a set of instructions, kind of like a recipe, for how you complete different tasks in your business. So things like client onboarding and setting up project management processes in your business to kind of deliver on client projects, whatever it may be, all of those things and some of the things that you might want to think about for each process, they're all in the guide and you can get that.
Fantastic. And on this guide, do you mention which platforms people should use? Do you give any direction in terms of that? Oops.
So I can you hear me? Yes.
I lost you for a while, but now you're back. Yes,
I'm back.
say.
So I don't necessarily go into the specific tools. I think that they should they really depend upon your business and like whether you're really techie or whether you're like not so techie and what you kind of prefer. But you will be able to find guidance there that would help you pick a tool that's going to be most effective for you.
That's okay. Good. Thank you. And I know you have another freebie that is not already on the description, but you spoke with me about it, which is the onboarding templates.
Yes. Yeah. So for those of you who are working directly with clients, I have another freebie which you can get on my website and through my Instagram, which is onboarding workflows. So this is just basically a more detailed step-by-step of all the things that you need to do and how to automate them for bringing in clients to your business.
Fabulous. Well done. Thank you. I keep saying
it
because I feel really honored all the time to have my guests with me and sharing their vision and their business and their journey, because it do empowers me, and I know that empowers someone else in the other side of the world, or even in London.
Even in London.
But thank you so much for joining me, Claire. I wish you all the best, and I hope everyone that is listening, if you are interested in Claire's no profession, how we say this now, I forgot the word, that is in your services, please find out more about is under the is in the description of this podcast, so you can click and join Claire, talk to her. Do you have a scheduling system for calls?
I do. You can definitely find that on my website and see an example.
Amazing. So you take care, Claire, and was really good to have you here with us. And in name of Women Flicks and Entrepreneur Talks, you take care.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely rest of your day. Bye.
You too. Bye bye.